Okay, good, good, good. All right, any prayer requests this morning? Okay. Yep, good day. Sounds good. All right, dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for bringing us into our 5th week together. We ask that as we complete this 3rd way through the semester, that you help us with our writing skills to improve the ones we've had errors on in the past and to apply them to the future writing skills as well. We ask a blessing on our connections, and we ask that each student will have a happy day today. Amen. Okay, here's your icebreaker question. 2 questions. First one has like a 2-part. Yep, just pick one for now. Let's keep it narrowed down a bit. Like for me, I might pick my cousin Ginny. I haven't seen her in many years. She lives across the country in California. We contact each other a lot through emails. And it would be kind of fun to go with her because she's very quirky. She's older than me by 5 or 10 years, but she's very quirky. She does things her own way. An unusual woman, but it would be a lot of fun. And how would we pass time? We would be catching up. We would be finding something quirky to go see and do, walk the unusual paths and so forth. And just reconnect with each other in person. And for you guys, let's see. Your friend Caroline, you haven't been on a trip before. Best friend, you both love the beach, swimming in the ocean. Best friend, Mia, she's really fun. Your sister, both love traveling. Pass the time, talk, and play games. Thank you, Eleanor, for that part of it too. Your sister, she's awesome. Pass time listening to the Newsies soundtrack. You like the play, huh? I guess my sister and I would draw the entire time and talk. Pass the time by listening to music, just talking. Very cool. Judah, no response. Oh, Judah's typing. Okay. Vivian, got the hers. Here's talk and watch YouTube. Okay. On a trip, just watching YouTube doesn't sound like the best thing to do, maybe. Sometimes I think on a trip you should leave your electronics behind. But that's me. Okay. So I'm pretty pleased with your efforts. In fact, some of them were overwhelming. One was way too long. Class, how long was this essay supposed to be? Would you share in chat? And if you are the one who didn't do that, you don't need to reply. You don't need to identify yourself. Okay, it should have been 5 to 7 sentences, 10 at most. 1 paragraph. We had a little bit too much on some. But how did you guys feel about it? Was that fun to just think about what your room might look like? These are just, screenshots of things on the internet. So I threw together some ideas that made it seem like this is what you're thinking of. So I'm going to have you look at these and tell me how realistic is it all you've dreamed of, okay? So let me pull this aside for a minute because it's behind the screens here. Okay, so you can let me know. Oh, it's painful because you'll never get it. Don't say never. I mean, you're young. You have a chance to earn it and do it yourself once you get your own job. Maybe you can't do it when you're a teenager. It's something to dream about. Okay, Ellie, what do you think? Ellie went for a theater room. So we've got a wood floor stage up front, plus the screen, of course. Comfy seating, candy and popcorn area. She wanted some red double doors to the theater. Okay. All right, so that was pretty easy to see. Okay, so I put in 5 picks there just to see. Let's try the next person. Abriella. Got about 6 or 7 pictures here. Chairs were red in your thoughts. Okay, Ellie. I'd have to check and see if you said red chairs. I don't know if you specified the color. So for Abriella, something about puffy poodles, or I forget how you described them. Some poodles, a round bed, pink and blue decor on it, small desk. She wanted window, and that's like a bay window or a window seat area. Big puffy, snuggly bunny sitting next to a bunch of yarn. So do you knit? Bookshelf, some greenery coming off it. She crochets. Okay. All right. So that's literally perfect. All right. Good. That was pretty good. Then I guess you did a good description. If I can find pictures that matched, okay? And this is not me using AI. This is me just looking for ideas on the internet for decor. This is Vivian. Bunk bed on top, a little deck or office kind of area down below. Your desk and your chair on wheels, and so forth. Nice round puffy rug. Cat bed. Don't forget the cat. Yeah. She wanted white framed doors with black handles to the door in the closet. For some reason, it's kind of floating in the air there. Sorry, it should be down on the wood. Dresser with the mirror over the top. On top of her bed, she's got what you call a husband pillow, the kind that you can sit back and relax into, and also her stuffed cow. And lighting, I couldn't quite match. She wanted something more delicate than that, I think, but it had to have 3 bulbs in it, and so it's not quite. And then navy blue walls, I believe it was, or blue walls and wood flooring. What do you think, Vivian? You said thanks. I'm missing the point on a couple of those. Oh, she also wanted the blue bedding, so that was right, I think. Close. Okay. Next person. Eleanor. White carpet underneath. Desk was supposed to have some underlighting that was LED, and for her game and lap keyboard or whatever. 3 screens on the wall to play. She wanted some blue stars on the ceiling. Heavy black curtains to shut out the light. Bookshelves for both books and knickknacks, I guess. What do you think, Eleanor? I'm missing something? Or is that close? I think you had white walls. It's close. Okay. All right. Next. This one looks a little busy because it's a huge book area, like a home library almost. So I couldn't quite get the right pictures here. She wanted windows around the upper area, around the ceiling. So this is the only shot I could find with windows up there. Lots of books. The table doesn't really count. She didn't mention a table, but that was part of the pick. A circular stairway going up to more levels of books. An antique desk in the center with a window above it opening out to a mountain scene. What do you think, Lily Kate? It's a little bit busy, so it would need some specialty things going on there. Okay, pretty good. All right, tons of books to read. All right, Judah, your turn. Judah wanted the blue walls, the wood flooring, got your barbells down at the bottom. They would be along the side of the wall, I think. Ryan Trahan bedding and pillows, bedside table that had, I think, according to him, it was like his laptop plus a lot of junk food leftovers. Joyride candy hanging on a wall in a box or whatever over your desk. And the desk is kind of football oriented. Bookcase, above the bookcase where he stores all the caps that he's collected, baseball caps. Closet opens up and he's got a chin-up bar in the closet. It didn't turn out perfectly there, but what do you think, Judah? You love it? Okay, good. So that one went pretty well. So you guys really were doing a good job overall of giving me colors and floors, flooring, things like sometimes the carpet, things like that, things around the room. Not too bad. Nora, your turn. Nora had quite a lot going on. She wanted exposed beams in a tiered ceiling that would have delicate lighting. This is the only one I could find that had like little twinkle lights twisted around them. The others would have chandeliers hanging from them. So I didn't quite get the ceiling quite right. Barn doors to open to the room. And I put one onto the closet, if you can see the walk-in closet on the upper right. A lot of plants around the room. She wanted an L-shaped desk, a white fluffy round rug. She wanted her keyboard to play and put that on her bedside table. I kept everything pretty rustic because she wanted rustic. She's got a hanging macrame chair. She's got art on the wall that's next to the chair. And a window between some bookshelves. Nora, it was so much. I could have put more in there too from Nora because she had, since she's apologizing, you'll see that she's the one who actually put too much in there. Her bed had to be like a floral she wanted kind of a fancy white bed. So I've kind of got that bed, the headboard back there. It's kind of fancier. But how about, does this visualize kind of? There was too much for me to really organize it center, left, and right. So that would take some work. Don't worry about how many sentences. She had like 5 paragraphs. She wrote a full essay out on this. So she can redo that if she wants, but it's just, you can wait till I hand things back. I was just trying to grab pictures. So I want to know visualizing. Did we get this? So I have a feeling that Nora would need a massive bedroom about the size of 2 of my living rooms. There's so much stuff in there. All right. So you guys enjoy that? All right. Let me tuck that away. All right. So pretty good. What you're dreaming of? How many of you thought of something like, oh, I should have done that too, or oh, I wish I'd described that? Like maybe your bedside table, or the fact that you have a room and there's no bed. I've had people do that before, try to describe a bedroom and there was no bed. They had their closet, they had dresser and shelving. So I left out the bed. And then we came to class and they could say, oh, yeah, where am I sleeping? Eleanor would like a little bit more stuff in hers. Ellie was thinking about a library versus a theater. So yeah, a library was cool. Abriella pre-planned by drawing it out. That's probably a very good idea. just kind of sketch out a beanbag. I think there might have been a beanbag in someone's description. Was that yours? Did I miss it? I feel like I missed a beanbag. I'm not sure. I'd have to reread those. I might have missed a beanbag, but that sounds familiar, like I've read that. It might have, not unless it was just a past class, but I might have missed a beanbag. Okay, so good. I think overall, your class is one of the better ones for catching enough descriptions of the things that you would require in that room. So pretty good. There's a few who missed things, like you didn't give any wall or coloring or floor covering. You just had the things, but that's okay. It was a pretty decent start. Okay, let's do a little bit of show and tell, but it's not really show and tell. It's more about not showing, but telling instead, or maybe kind of showing. So what we're trying to do is to show the scene, make you feel it, that you're there. So we recreated these dream rooms visually by throwing in some grabbed pictures off the internet, right? Now we're going to try to do it with our words and try to make them more sensory: smell, touch, sight, taste, sound. You can invent some details, revise these as we go. So take a look at this sentence. I can tell you, the old man stood on the grass and relaxed as the sun went down. Doesn't sound bad. But if I show you, I could say this. The grass caressed his feet and a smile softened his eyes. A hot puff of air brushed against his wrinkled cheek as the sky paled yellow, then crimson, and within a breath, electric indigo. As you read that, you can still figure out he's an old man because it mentioned his wrinkled cheek. You know it's grass. It's mentioned still, but it's caressing his feet. So now you get the idea, like, this is not lumpy or overgrown or anything like that. It's soft grass underneath. And he relaxed. Well, a smile softened his eye. Okay, that's the same thing as kind of relaxing, and being caressed is a relaxing feeling. And the sun went down. We've got the sky turning yellow, crimson, and indigo. You got all the colors of the sunset there. Okay, so that's kind of what we're aiming for. Not the telling, but the showing. So let me give you a telling, and then I want you guys to practice, write in chat your best showing. And notice I did 2 sentences instead of 1, so it's okay to go to 2 sentences. All right, but we'll see what happens. You can stick with 1. Here's a telling. The boy pulled a large fish out of the river. Let's improve that. Add detail. Add sensory detail. Show that picture of that with your words. Okay, so we've got young boy and a little rosy-cheeked boy. Caught versus tugged. Large bass versus a fat thrashing trout. Peaceful river, the gentle lapping river. Missing a period, Gabriella, but don't fix it. It's okay. We know you meant one. Okay, let's see what the other few people do. Pretty good, girls. Feel free to name the boy if you guys want. As long as we still know that he's a boy. Make sure he doesn't sound like he's a man. A young boy grinned as he pulled the slimy catfish out of the riverbank. Okay, good. Small boy with dirt-stained overalls bent over, fishing pole in hand, to find a wild-eyed catfish thrashing in his hands. Cool. Okay, we've got 3 more people to do this. I won't ask everybody to do number 3, but I want everybody to do this one. Gripping the slippery salmon, John reached as far as his small arms could allow and yanked it out of the rushing river and popped it heavily onto the sand. Probably mean plopped, but yeah. Very cool. That's good, Ellie. The little boy happily yanked the squirmy fat fish out of the clear blue river. Nice. I like that you guys are giving good descriptions to that fish. But we've got a catfish, a trout, another catfish, and a tuna. The young boy fought to pull the large tuna out of the rushing water. Yeah, tuna can be big. So he would have to fight to pull that out. The boy happily yanked. Okay, let's try another one. The girl stood on the corner of the busy intersection and witnessed the accident as it happened. So think about 2 crossroads, an intersection. It's busy, lots of vehicles. She's at the corner and she sees an accident. How can you describe that more thoroughly? 1 or 2 sentences. Sally, a big car accident. Okay, we need a few more details, Eleanor. So watch and read through the others. You don't have to redo yours, but watch how the others might expand. The frightened Mexican girl stood at the corner of the rushing, loud intersection of traffic, witnessed the devastating accident as it took place. Okay, kind of. Yeah, better with the description of the girl. Okay, so Abrielle's got a better description of the girl, but she still has an intersection and traffic. So it's a devastating accident, rushing, loud intersection. Okay. It's all right. That's okay. Just watch the others and we learn from each other. And then you can try harder on the next one, maybe. Okay. I'm not sure if engaged would be correct, but horrified and scared is good. Shakingly stood. Yeah. Horrific accident. Blonde child, barefoot. Okay, you just moved her off the corner of this intersection, Vivian, but we can go along with that. Okay, now Vivian included what kind of accident now, right? Now we have a truck slamming into a motorcycle. So if we take the beginning of some of yours and add Vivian's ending, we got to put the girl back on the corner of the street, though. Lily Kate, jaw dropped and heart thumping, the little girl jolted in horror as two cars collided. Yeah, that was good. You just responded so fast, I didn't even see yours. So jaw dropped is kind of awkwardly put there, but I mean, I get the idea. Like her jaw dropped and her heart thumped. It doesn't really work as the first two words of a sentence, maybe. So it could be more like heart thumping. Heart thumping, the little girl's jaw dropped as she jolted in horror at the car's collision. Okay. All right, stay in the busy corner. A young girl was about to cross the bustling road to her school as she watched the cars ram into each other. Okay, there we go. A little bit more. All right, let me put up the next one, the final one for this page. Now you did your dream room, so tie your ideas about dream room to a living room. Our living room is comfortable. And if you notice my blue box, I've got a couple sentences under there, not just one. So you can go to 2 sentences if you need to. All right, the moment you walk inside our living room, you'll see windows spreading light all around and a sofa with soft pillows and fluffy blankets. Nice. Our tidy, quiet living room has comfortable couches and chairs and a nice toned light. A nice toned light hanging down the white ceiling. Okay. Oh, like some sort of a light tone, maybe? All right. I'm not sure how that means. My family's new beige living room is quite modern with its mahogany bookshelves and glass coffee table. Okay. Of course, the mahogany is a darker wood, but the wall can be beige, yes. Period. Thanks, Eleanor. Period. Comfy and cozy. My family's living room is a very comfortable oasis. Oasis is a great word to describe it. The warm fire inside the whitewashed brick fireplace crackled beside the old and very worn brown chair. Neat. Kind of gives a relaxing evening feel, doesn't it? With an arched ceiling that stretches far above our heads and large window opposite welcoming red door, sitting on our cozy couches watching the fire is one of my favorite things. Okay, that almost ends up being hard to get to the meaning of the sentence, like saying watching the fire is a favorite thing. But the description is pretty good. All right, let me uncover mine. Our newly renovated living room features a soft burgundy leather sofa recliner, 2 matching teak end tables with brushed gold lamps, and a state-of-the-art massive television. We chose bamboo, a renewable resource, for the wood flooring, and a light gray infinity shag rug with a trellis design. So, pretty good, everybody. Obviously, I'm the teacher, so I get the best one, right? Sorry, I'm teasing you guys. Oh, but you get the idea of expanding your thoughts with color words, touch words. Some of you use things that would talk about cozy. A lot of you went with comfy and cozy or comfortable. Talking about light and warmth. Okay, so those all add to descriptions, definitely. Review and revise. So this week, just a heads up, is you will be given back your dream room description so that with my comments, and then you can revise it and try to improve on it, sticking with the guidelines of 5 to 7 sentences. If you get stuck, you can go up to a maximum of 10, but no more than that. So that will be, you have to wait for me to hand that back. Okay, so last time we worked on crafting strong topic sentences, and you were doing that with your skill builders as well. Remember about the zoo, the library, your closet, and so forth. So I'll be grading those skill builders and handing those back as well. So we're trying to get topics and now with details that fit into the topics. So your topic could be, fall is my favorite season because I get to watch college football each weekend. So what can I include with that? What would you add after that sentence? If that's your topic sentence, what could we talk about now? We have to stick with fall being my favorite season because I get to watch college football. Okay, we have to have sentences though, Judah. We're not cheering. We're not sitting in the bleachers right now. We're writing a paper or writing a paragraph. Such as what, Gabriella? Especially if we're talking about fall and college football. So you have to stick with the topic. Okay, so at college football, do you jump in leaf piles? Not so much, see? Okay, relaxing on a couch and watching college football. Okay, so we could add the couch that you get to watch college football each weekend, and you could then add the fact that you're doing this at home, right? You could mention that who your favorite team is, Ohio State Buckeyes, which of course they have to lose to Michigan every year. So I'm sorry, I'm a Michigander, and we always tease Ohio people that we're better because our states are right next to each other. Okay, you can mention, so you could talk about sitting in bleachers, wearing sweaters, right? When you're at a football game, what do you do? Okay, so those are some details you can include in there. So the topic sentence has to be like this umbrella. Everything underneath has to fit. So that's why the fall leaf jumping, although a nice fall activity is good, but it doesn't fit if you've said that your topic sentence is going to be talking about college football in the fall, watching that, okay? Well, you don't have to go to football games, but your sentence had to relate to fall and watching football. I mean, people watch games on TV. You don't really have to know about it. Okay, right. Cheering loudly, maybe eating your snack peanuts. Right. People at games often will eat hot dogs and drink pop. Grown-ups might drink beer. Wrapping up in blankets if you're outside at the stadium. So it's an experiential thing, yes, but you can also guess at it because you might have seen a football game on TV, and like who was it? Ellie mentioned that you can relax on the comfortable couch. So it doesn't mean that you have to go to your college football game. All right, we're going to take it a little further now. We want to also come up with a good title. So I'm going to give you some possibilities here to choose an appropriate title. Get my click. There we go. So when you write a paper, like your dream room, you often want to put a title at the top of it. How many of you remember you titled it My Dream Room or My Dream Library, My Bedroom, something like that? Did anybody put titles on them? A couple of you did? Okay. So any title won't do. So you could do something basic like My Dream Room, although that might be too general, but it still reflects the overall meaning of the passage, right? So for example, if we have a story about Cinderella, you wouldn't title the story Turning a Pumpkin into a Coach because the entire story was not about that one thing about happening to the pumpkin. If we write a piece about Billie Eilish, the singer, it wouldn't be titled Billie Eilish Hairstyles if we're going to talk about her songs in that those paragraphs as well. Okay. All right, so let's go through this, and you're going to pick A, B, C, or D. In a recent study of more than 400 students, the average science score was 95. 75% of those students who scored high also played a musical instrument. In contrast, only a small portion of the students with low science scores played an instrument. Which one do you think is the best title, A, B, C, or D? Oh, please, somebody get the right answer. Thank you, Ellie. Okay, oops, let me backtrack to that. A is the best answer because it's talking about science people getting better scores if they play musical instruments. So it's music and science being linked together. It's not advantages of music education. It's not just about the science test scores. It's about music linking with science. So Ellie gets that one right. Okay, I'm going to give you a group of words. They have a common theme. You make up a title for these now. In the paragraph, we're going to talk about basketball, hockey, tennis, and football. What would you title that? What could be a possible title? It could be one word, sports. Okay. Who can come up with something more creative even? Or a couple words. Year-round sports. Although each sport isn't year-round, but you maybe mean sports for the whole year, different seasons. Because tennis, you don't play in the winter if you're at a wintry area. Football, you don't play in the spring, typically. College favorites, that could be possible, but college favorites could also be the best places to go eat. Classic sports. Okay, possibility. All right, let me show you another one. How about these 4 words? If these were in your paragraph or your essay, what might the title be? Popular sports for many ages. Okay, that'd be good, Ellie. How about this one? Nails, saw, hammer, ruler. Basic equipment for construction. Okay. Garage trinkets. I don't know if Dad would call them a trinket. You might talk to your dad about it. Could you call his tools trinkets? Easy to use tools. That's not bad. They aren't hard to use. Okay. Couple more. Tools for your everyday needs. Okay. How about this one? You get oak, maple, cherry, pine. Building basics, building tools. So it'd be fine. Okay, I need you to answer this one too. I don't think you've answered. Oh, you didn't answer the last two, so let's have you answer this one too. Oak, maple, cherry, pine. Different kinds of trees. That could be. Citizens of the forest. Okay. A lot of trees. The word lot will be on your overused list in the back of your book, the weak words. So try to avoid that word. My tree farm. Okay, good. These might be trees that you're growing to sell, maybe for furniture making or people's decor in their yards. The prettiest trees and their wood colors. Okay, wouldn't need a comma, but that could be. Okay, a little bit more difficult. George Washington, Thomas Edison, Barack Obama, Elon Musk. Common trees, yeah. Powerful people, good. Of course, with a title, we'd capitalize our words, wouldn't we, Nora? Don't worry about it. You don't have to redo it, but just put it in the back of your mind. Titles need capitalization on the main words. I didn't correct others, though. Like my tree farm could have been capitalized. Different kinds of trees, building tools, those could have been capitalized. The most well-known men. Possible. Politically involved. Okay, they are politically involved. Well, Elon Musk, a smidge less. He's more politically recently, but not his whole life. But oh, yeah, famous people, important people of our time, past and present. Okay, so I'm going to give you some passages now, and I want you to choose the best title. Remember, the title has to reflect the overall meaning. So don't just stick with one fact that's in the passage, but the whole overall meaning. You're going to pick A, B, C, or D. Every summer, my family piles in the car and heads for the countryside. We enjoy the scenery, sing songs, and discuss how happy we'll be to see my grandmother. We all look forward to the delicious meal that she will have prepared when we arrive. A, B, C, or D? We've got A's and B's. Okay, correct answer would be B, because it's not just traveling, but specifically the traveling to your grandmother's house. I do need an apostrophe on that S, don't I? Here's a longer one, so pay attention to this. My grandfather was a gardener. Every spring he planted corn, tomatoes, and beans. He even had apple trees, a plum tree, and a grapevine. When I visited him during the summer and fall, he would have buckets of freshly picked tomatoes ready to be eaten. All I had to do was rinse off some tomatoes and bite into them, the juice running down my chin. He allowed me to help him shuck corn. This means taking off the outer leaves of the ear of corn. We would cook the corn, and it was sweet and delicious. We also picked beans that my mother washed and canned. They were fresh, crisp, and filling. I hope to be a gardener and raise wonderful foods for my family one day. Okay, A, B, C, or D? Well, let's see. So we're talking about, it does have a little bit to do with memories of grandfather, but there's a lot more about the food, right? Corn, tomatoes, beans, apples, plums, grapes, tomatoes, shucking the corn. So I would say possibly this could be B. I think C is a little bit less because It doesn't totally talk about grandfather only. I mean, you're picking beans that mother washed and canned. So it's more about the food. Almost every sentence has something to do with the food, right? There's food in every one. So I think B would be your better choice. Okay, try this one. Ben Franklin is one of the most famous citizens of the United States. He's remembered as the man who flew a kite during a lightning storm to conduct an experiment about electricity. He was the American ambassador to France during the Revolutionary War. He was also an inventor, and one of his most practical inventions was the Franklin stove. In colonial homes, fireplaces were the source of heat. Unfortunately, most of the heat went up the chimney with the smoke. The stove Franklin invented stood in the middle of the room with a stovepipe to remove the fumes. Because the stove was made out of a heavy iron box with a door, it gave off heat from all sides. The stove remained warm even after the wood and coal had burned completely. In this way, the stove would continue to be a source of heat even after the fire died out. People still use the Franklin stove. Okay, we've got a mix of A and C. In this case, it's not really talking about all of his gifts. That last paragraph is only about the Franklin stove. And the first part mentions the kite, but he didn't invent a kite. He was just experimenting with electricity. The only invention that would be a gift to America he's mentioned is this stove. So C would be the best choice. This is a Franklin stove. This was a little box. They would put firewood down inside. You can see the silver metal handle and light it up. And that way it would give off heat. And you could, rest your wood on that edge when you're scooping out the ashes later on. You have a little shelf there to rest a bucket on or a pan or something, or your broom. But this is a Franklin stove. And people still use these today, especially if they like the rustic areas or they're maybe up north and they don't want to use electricity. This just burned firewood. Okay. Another one to choose. We used to play baseball, Marty and I. We would go to the old ball field across town in the morning and stay until the sun went to bed. Then Marty moved away. He said he would visit, but he never did. I got a few letters every now and then, but it wasn't the same. As the years went by, I still thought about our days at the field. I was the pitcher, he was the batter. Sometimes he hit a home run, and sometimes I would strike him out. How I wished for those days again. Then I got a phone call. Marty was coming back. We picked up right where we left off. He was at the plate, and I was on the mound, just like it used to be. A, B, C, or D? Okay, we've got mostly C's. C would be right. It does talk about playing baseball, but it has to do with the fact that they used to play baseball. Marty moved and they couldn't play baseball anymore. And now it's back to the way things were. So that would be better because the whole paragraph kind of rounds up around how it's going back. All right. Let me check how far away your break slide is because you probably want your break. Yeah, let's jump to break time. I'm running a bit behind, but we'll give you your break time now. I'll put the jigsaw puzzle back up in case you're interested in playing that for a while again. Those of you who didn't get a chance to, if you came in late. If you would need to rotate the piece, right-click on it and it will rotate. Okay, let's go back to where we were. One moment. Okay, last week we were working on revising and fixing our run-on sentences. Does anyone remember the 3 ways to correct a run-on sentence? Even if you remember one of the ways. Comma, good. But what do we do with the comma? Should be comma with something else. All right, period, comma, semicolon, comma, but, or comma, and. Right, comma, fanboy. Exactly, the fanboys. Good job, you guys. So period and capital letter. comma and accordion conjunction called the fanboys, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. That's what fanboy stands for. Or the semicolon. Good job. Be careful. You don't want just a comma. So that's what I had to worry about with Eleanor when you responded to that. But comma, but would be correct. So not just a comma. Okay, let's find and correct these. Number 1, Skyrim, the northernmost province of Tamriel, is a cold and mountainous region. Many past battles have given it a ravaged appearance. Some commas are correct, some places wrong. Where do we need to fix number 1? And how would you fix it? You don't have to type the whole sentence out, just maybe the word before and after it with whatever punctuation you want to add to it. After mountainous region should be a fanboy. Okay, which one would you pick, Ellie? So yes, right here, this is the error area. And, okay. You could do an and, you could do a for. I don't think but would work. And I don't think yet would work. So doesn't work either. So I think only and or for would work there. Okay, number 2. Though currently inhabited primarily by Nords, the elves who they replaced had resided there since time immemorial. We can't put a comma after replaced because then you'd have had resided, which is a verb, and we can't start with that. And we can't put a period after Nords because we have a though in the beginning, which makes it dependent. This actually is correct the way it is. Tricky. Try number 3. The High King of Skyrim is chosen by a convention of Jarls. A Jarl is a regional ruler usually chosen through heredity. Okay, there's our possibilities. We've got period, comma, or period, capital A, or you always all want the period. Okay. There also could have been a semicolon in there. We also could do a comma for possibly, but I think either a period or a semicolon is the best choice. Number 4, I mean. The High King typically rules until death. However, acts of dishonor can lead to the recall and reconsideration of the moot. It is not correct. Good guess, but nope. Where would we put a but, Judah? There's no place for a but that I see. Where? You guys have to figure this out. The High King typically rules until death. However, acts of dishonor can lead to the recall and reconsideration of the moot. It's a run-on, or actually a comma splice. You were talking to Judah. Comma before the and. There's no, nope. You don't want comma before the and because you would have to have 3 things in a row then. Recall, something else, and reconsideration. You can't just put a comma between 2 things connected by an and. So there's not, in other words, that typically when we do comma and, that means there's a subject and a verb following the comma and there's not here. There's just one noun. Death period acts. And get rid of however? I don't want to get rid of however. That could work. You're close. You're very close. You're almost there. You're almost there. You're still not right. In this case, this is the area that there's a problem, but we don't want to put a period because, however, I'm not really happy with using it as a beginning. We would like not to just have a comma because there is a comma there already, Eleanor. We want to change this to a semicolon. However is a subjunctive coordinator, okay? So it's something that is connecting two parts, but it's a little bit heavier weight than a fanboy. So it's a stronger pause. The high king typically rules until death. You could have put a period there. However, this is still connecting it. However, acts of dishonor can lead to the recall and reconsideration of the moot. All right. Number 5, the jarls do not give serious consideration to anyone but the high king's direct heir unless one is not available. If we put a comma but, Abriella, after anyone, then you would have to have a sentence that could be split off that would say the high king's direct heir unless one is not available. That doesn't quite sound right because that makes the high king's direct heir the subject, but there's not a verb because one is a subject verb of its own. So we can't put heir, comma, but. We have an unless there. We don't need a but there. Yes, it is correct. Okay, so let me just show you these again. So the best choices there, or at least one of the choices, the ones in red. People will capitalize, however, and start it with a sentence, but I love the combination of having the first phrase, a semicolon, however, comma. I think that blends the two sentences together very nicely. Okay, I'm going to send you to breakout rooms to practice some editing. Let me just pause that. Sorry, my phone's ringing in the background. Did I set these up for you? Let me jump into breakout mode and check and see if I put them in the rooms. I think I did, but now I'm wondering. Do these in class. I did not set those up. So let's practice the editing. In the first sentence, let's just work on this one. We want to fix any capitals, commas, semicolons, periods, exclamation marks, hyphens, quotation marks, anything you can think of. What's going on with the first one? What mistakes or errors do you see that we should fix? Needs a period at the end. Okay, that's one. Capital I in the middle of a sentence here and here. Pronoun I is always capitalized. After however, you have a comma. Capitalize United States. I'm just going to underline that 3 times. Underlining 3 times means capitalize it. Oops, that's kind of crooked, but that works. North and south should be capitalized. Either that or east needs to be uncapitalized. Okay, let's talk about the directions. I like the south better than the north. However, if I had to travel east, they're all wrong. When you're talking about a place that's the south or the north, then we do capitalize it. So south gets capitalized and north gets capitalized. But if you're talking about a direction you're traveling, it does not get capitalized. So they were all 3 of them wrong. What else? Comma before the year? No, because you're going to something about the capital of the United States from 1785 to 1990. We can't put a comma there. This is not a date. It's going from 1785 to 1790. So we got to keep it with the from. There's one more punctuation missing. Two punctuations. So city, yes, comma, there. Good. And then I need a semicolon. Where do I need a semicolon? Nope, nothing after United States. A semicolon. We just talked about it on the slide before. In front of, however, right there. Okay, I like the South better than the North. However, if I had to travel east, I would go to New York City, comma, the capital of the United States from 1785 to 1790. No punctuation within that. Okay, let's try the second one. Everybody, good job. Let's do this one. Okay, capitalize the Mr. First part of a sentence, plus it's a title of a person. A period after the Mr. Apostrophe with Smiths, good. Karen needs to be capitalized. Smith needs to be capitalized. President Carter needs to be capitalized. African American and Hispanic culture fairs. Or is it African American? So let me think about that. Are we doing African American or African American? And I think it's African American. I think we better keep that together. It's African American. Should there be a question mark? There should be a question mark. Where would it be? At the end, before and after fairs. Okay, question mark here instead of a period. Right? Get rid of did. Nope, that's part of the question. Mr. Smith's bonus question on our test was, did President Carter visit Karen Smith before or after he toured the African American and Hispanic culture fairs? We do need a quotation mark at the end. Where's the quotation mark for the beginning then? Ellie says, was, comma, quotation mark, capitalized did. Good. Okay, let's take a look at it now. Mr. Smith's bonus question on our last test was, did President Carter visit Karen Smith before or after he visited? Okay, good. Take a look at the answers. Look at the difference that I did on was instead of a comma, although Ellie put in the comma. When you're announcing the quote, you can use a colon. This is something new for you guys, okay? When you're announcing a quote, you can use a colon. We're not saying Mr. Smith said. If you use something like said, then you want a comma. But if it's after was, then it's a colon. It's like you're announcing, here's the question that it was. So that was a little tricky one. Okay, let's work with possessives, the apostrophes. I give you a warning here. There may be some sounds that pop up. This was a part of a slide program that someone else put together, and the sounds are in here. So just be aware, and if you're sensitive to sounds, you may want to turn your volume down a smidge or be ready to. So what are nouns? A noun is a part of speech that describes a person, place, or thing. Man, house, chair, footrest. What's a possessive noun? A possessive noun is a noun that owns something else in the sentence. Mine. For example, the airplane's engine was loud. The airplane technically owns the engine. Possessive nouns are often shown with apostrophes. So if you look at the airplane's apostrophe S, engine, it's not plural, it's a possessive. Can you make this sentence possessive? Miguel owns that car. How would you type that up? Miguel. There's our noise, sorry. Okay, that is Miguel's car. So you get the idea about the sounds. Once in a while that might pop up. So it's a bit of a shocker, sorry. It'll wake you up. Miguel doesn't drive well. When there's use of a possessive, the question who owns it can be answered. Mine. Which answer best fits in the blank? A, B, C, or D? Yes. D, Seth's. The apostrophe S. Seth's bicycle is broken. Although it doesn't sound broken. So make sure you don't confuse plural and possessive words. Possessive words show ownership. The Black's dollhouse is small. Plural words show that there's more than one. Those girls are friendly. Which answer best fits in the blank here? Sorry, I did tell you about the sounds. Yeah, B. It will attract a lot of flies. Okay. Which answer best fits in this blank? The blank skin is red. Which tomatoes is right? Oops, dropped it on the floor. Not A, not C, not D. Nora's right. B, tomato. It's one tomato and it's possessive. It owns that skin, the tomato's skin. Which answer best fits this blank? The desert is home to many kinds of... I don't know what sound of animal that's supposed to be. B is correct. Good job, you guys. Which answer best fits in this blank? Kendra has two hamsters named Fuzzy and Furry. The blank cage looks like a tiny house. Oh, how many does she have, you guys? She has two. So you have to have it plural first, and then you can add the possessive. When it's plural and you make it possessive, the apostrophe goes after the plural form. So hamsters, because she has two of them, and then the apostrophe. If you did C, she would only have one hamster, and you've just killed off either Fuzzy or Furry. Which answer best fits in this blank? Billy will carry his blank suitcase. Suitcase belongs to his sister. Yeah, that one was easier, wasn't it? It's his sister's suitcase. Oh, must be heavy. Whose sweater? I borrowed Jane's sweater. Another easy one for you. Yes. A. Okay, let's talk about the pronouns then. Possessive pronouns. What are possessive pronouns? They take the place of a noun. So instead of saying Tom's, you could say his. And instead of saying Sandy, you could say hers or her, and so forth. These are pronouns. They show ownership. It's his, her, or hers, their or theirs, our or ours, yours, mine, whose, my. Which words can we replace? Which word could be a pronoun instead? And which pronoun would you make it? Would you change spaghetti is, food, favorite, or Morgan's, and turn it into a pronoun. Can't change is, that's a verb. Her. Yeah, we could do a her favorite food is spaghetti. How about this one? That candy bar is Jordan's. Good, that candy bar is his. How about Tyler and Jack's school is called Durban? Not with an S, Gabriella. It'd be their school. The pink blanket belongs to me. The pink blanket is mine. Or you could say my pink blanket, right? So depending on what your sentence will be, you could say the pink blanket is mine, or that's my pink blanket. Thomas's and my neighborhood is called Deer Path. Our neighborhood, right, because it's Thomas and my. Okay, let's do a few more. Those books are Isabel and Claire's. Those books are theirs. Good. The pictures are Jenny's. The pictures are hers. Good. Okay, girls, I want you to slow down your answers. Judah, you need to jump. Oh, you did jump in on one of those. Okay, never mind. You're good. I thought he wasn't there. He just did. Okay, hers is right. Just want to make sure all 7 of you are responding. Cameron's dog is big and yellow. What goes on the blank? Thanks for the capital, Lily Kate. His dog and Ellie. She's Katie's and my teacher. She is our. These are all possessive pronouns. Good job, everybody. You're doing great. The sweatshirt belongs to me. The sweatshirt is mine. Caroline's sister is in 2nd grade. Yes, her sister. Thanks for the capitals, those who did. Lindsay and Macy's moms are best friends. Oh, it can't be our because it's not me. I'm not in that sentence. It's 2 girls or 2 friends. Their moms. Lily Kate got it, and so did Ellie and Nora. Yeah, a couple others. Okay. Michael John's and my favorite game to play at recess is football. Good, our. Carter's bedroom is painted blue. Right, thanks for the capital, Vivian. I have a green backpack. Good, thanks for the capital, some of you. My backpack is green. So what have you just practiced? What were those words called? 2-word phrase. Possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns. Not possessive nouns, possessive pronouns. Not objective, not subjective. Oops, what happened there? It bounced away. They were possessive pronouns. Objective pronouns are at the end of sentences. Subjective pronouns are the subjects, like I and he, but these were possessive. All right, let's talk about the word it's. Students, even grown-ups, make a big mistake by using its, its, and it apostrophe s. They get them mixed up. When you're writing about an object, it's not uncommon to confuse it. One is a contraction, its, and one is a possessive pronoun, its. It's confusing because when you show possession, its does not need an apostrophe. So its, it apostrophe s, is a contraction for it is. Example, it's raining this morning. It is raining this morning. It's, without an apostrophe, is the possessive pronoun. The animal injured its paw. No apostrophe. Okay, so we spent a lot of time on grammar today. Why do we do all this? Because we want you to use these concepts correctly in your writing. So I want you to apply this knowledge to your writing this week. A guy named William Raspberry said, "Good English, well-spoken and well-written, will open more doors than a college degree. Bad English will slam doors you didn't even know existed." That's so true. I can tell you that as someone who worked in a couple of different companies, both schools and retail and so forth, I've at times had to take in applications for jobs. If they couldn't write English properly, and I knew that during the job they would have to write things down, I often didn't want to hire them at all. They had to be really skilled in other areas to make up for the fact that their grammar was so poor. So we want to use it well. Wise words, exactly. All right, coming up this week, I will revise, or I will make suggestions for you to revise your dream room paragraph. I would say, Nora, since you already know yours is too long, you could start now whittling it down, but I'll be sending them back to you quickly if I can. I have most of the rest of today free, so I should have no problem doing that. The skill builders will be working on titles and the its, IT apostrophe S versus ITS. But now what I want you to do is go to your books. Mine is hanging out over here behind me. And I want you to find Lesson 5, Student Writing Skills Checklist. It doesn't have a page number in my sections. It should be at the end of Lesson 5. At the top, it has a blank for your name. And underneath it says describing a food. We're not going to be describing a food, but I want to talk about this, okay? So Lesson 5, Student Writing Skills Checklist. It's on page 5-11 for you. Thank you. That might help the class. My page isn't numbered. So everybody check and see. Okay, besides Ellie, would the rest of you please tell me when you found it? It's important. Okay, thank you. I have, you're right. Okay, let's go through this. This is what you're going to be using this week to also check your writing over. The first part is called content. And then if you skip down about 4 lines, you'll see the next part is called style. Then a little bit beyond halfway down the page, it's mechanics. At the very bottom, it says before turning in my work. You can cross off before turning in my work. Okay, because it talks about stapling papers. That's if you had to hand it in. You don't hand it to me, right? So don't staple your papers to me. You have to send them through the internet. Okay, let's go back up to the top now. Content. And basically what you want to do is after you write your paragraphs, essays, etc., you use these skills checklist to see if you've got them in there properly. So content, do all my sentences support my topic sentence? No carrots in my cookie jar. So if you look at the dream room, did you all of a sudden start talking about what's out in the kitchen? Of course not, right? That would be a carrot in the cookie jar. Did I communicate clearly? Probably you'll say yes, but you might think about, could it be clearer? Is that a little bit fuzzy? Did Mrs. Foley not really understand what I meant when I said that? Next one, are my topic and choice of words pleasing to the Lord and edifying to others? So basically it means don't use bad language, right? For one thing. And it also means don't be choosing something that's kind of sketchy. You know, you don't want to pick something that's not really a wise choice. So you should be able to easily check that one off. Next one says, does my title capture the essence of my paragraph? If you just wrote my dream room, but your dream room was a game room, then my dream room doesn't really capture the essence, right? But if you say my dream gaming room, then it might. So you want to make sure that your title works. Style. Did I choose a strong topic sentence that introduces my paragraph? So check the very first sentence. Is it strong? Is it a topic sentence? Or did you start with a detail? You don't want to start with a detail. You don't want to say, in my room, I have a carpet. That's not very good. You want to start with something that's just more general than that, but covers the whole topic. The next one is kind of picky. Did I use no more than 2 forms of to be words? Am, as, are, was, were, be, been, been. Circle them in red. So you can do this on your own right away. Check for those words. You're going to have to change them to a stronger verb. Next, did I use synonyms instead of repeating words? You could underline repeated words in blue. So if you kept on saying room, 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 well, find something else to say. Look up another synonym for room or find another way to say that sentence, okay? So don't repeat your words. Next, did I use concrete words that are specific, vivid, and sensory? Underline vague words in green. So if you used a word that was kind of bland, just said near or like or something like that, and it's just really vague, you can underline those in green and you'll know to fix those. Next, did I check my weak words list against my paragraph? You need to look at the back of your book and find those weak words and then find them. Did I use the word good? That's on the weak word list. Did I use the word like? That's on the weak word list. Did I use the word go? That's on the weak word list. There's a lot of words in there. You need to check. If you found them, you're supposed to underline those in green. Next, did I vary my sentence structure by beginning one sentence with paired adjectives? Is there a paired adjectives anywhere in your dream room description? I don't think so. Next, did I carefully describe the food? Cross out the word food and change that to room. Okay, because we're not doing food, we're doing a room. Did I carefully describe the room in a tempting way using each of my 5 sentences? So you could just wonder, did you describe the room using your senses? Touch, sight, probably not smell and taste, right? You're not going to go around licking your bedroom. All right, things like that. Maybe sound if you're talking about something else that sounds like something, but definitely touch and sight should be used. Next, did I describe the room? Again, cross out room and change food and change it to room without focusing on its preparation. So in other words, you're describing it as if it's done, not as if you would move in something now. It's not something that's happening. Like I would paint my walls this. Just say the walls are beige. Not say I would paint the walls. So it's got to be a done deal, basically. Next one, did I write concisely avoiding wordiness? Nora? Okay. Cross out any unnecessary words or phrases. So see if there's something you can take out. Did I write strong closing sentence that gives a feeling of ending? How did you end your story? Remember the cookie jar had to have the bottom of the cookie jar has to finish up. I'm almost done here. We're going to go through just a couple more here. Now go to the mechanics section. Did I put my name and date in the upper right-hand corner? Cross out upper right-hand corner. We want it in the upper left, and it's the 4-line header. Your name, my name, class name, date. Okay, so mechanics is now about the 4-line header. So you can cross out upper right-hand corner. It should be the 4-line header there, not just name and date, but your name, my name, class name, date. Yeah, a lot of people have troubles with endings, Gabriella. I understand. It takes time to think it through. So an ending with a dream room could be something like, I just love my dream room. That's easy, like that. Just kind of ending the whole idea. Or I can rest easily in my dream room. So you don't have to put in details. Maybe just give an emotional feel to it. And that would be a good ending, Gabriella. The next one under mechanics, the second one. Did I follow the proper format? Placement of title, spacing, font size. So that means like double spacing. Did you indent the paragraph? That kind of thing. Next one is my paragraph 5 to 7 sentences long. How many? Write the number of how many sentences you have in that line. Next, did I indent my first sentence? If not, draw an arrow showing you need to indent. Point it at the spot to indent. Yeah, it's why you take this class, exactly. Right, you're all doing great. I am very impressed with this class, truly, all of you. Did you remember to skip every line? That's double spacing. Or did I leave margins? Margins are automatic if you're typing it on your computer, so no worries there. Let's see, did I double check my spelling? If you're not sure about something, you can circle it and look it up and check it. Most spellings are caught by your computer programs, but once in a while they don't because someone's already told it, that's okay, you can let that one go, but it was actually wrong, so be careful. Double check capitalization, punctuation, correct any errors. Did I use complete sentences and avoid run-ons and misplaced modifiers? On this next line, did I finish and turn in my mind map? Cross that out. You did not need to turn in any mind map. Okay, so you can cross that out. And then this one, the last one is just about this page. Did I correctly use this checklist? Okay, so you're using the checklist this week to check your own work. You can start doing that right away, and that will be part of your homework this week. All right, are there any questions for me? Because we are now at just past 10:30. So you won't be turning in the checklist. It's yours to use to help you start fixing your paragraphs now while you wait for me to finish checking over your dream rooms. Okay, in the future, I might have you turn in a checklist. So you don't hand it in. This week, you'll just be handing in the final copy of your dream room, and you'll turn in your skill builders. If you go over to Schoology in week 5, you'll see all that there. Okay, if there aren't any more questions, I will let you go. Have a blessed week. Appreciate you all being here every week. It's so nice to have a class that attends and nobody's absent. I'm so glad you guys are healthy too. So be happy today. Enjoy some sunshine, and I'll see you in a week.